Hello, guys. Welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. This morning, we're going to look at the fight that's just taken place between Joe Smith Jr. and Steve Geffrard in the slightly bizarre WBO light heavyweight world title fight. Now, for those that don't know, Joe Smith did pick up the win, as expected for anybody that watched our preview. And it was a domination. He outlanded sort of 283 punches to 88, I believe. But it's what's expected. You know, you're fighting someone who's ranked outside the top 100 in the world. He really should be doing this. And, you know, he's talking about Canelo unifications next. It's slightly underwhelming. Ben, what did you think?
Yeah, I was underwhelmed as well. He dominated the fight, but I expected a masterclass against that level of opponent, especially when you've got a world title in a good division with some good fighters, and that's the best fight you could put on against that kind of fighter. I was disappointed. He never looked like he was in trouble. He was never going to lose that fight, but I just expected more. I expected to see the performance and think, right, he's ready to unify now. But he just did the opposite. Even the stoppage, I expected a one punch show his power. It was a flurry, and I don't even think Geffrard was that hurt by it. I just think it was the fact that he was getting that dominated. He might have been seriously hurt later on. And I was underwhelmed, and he then finishes the fight, calls out Canelo, and I just think, no chance. Canelo operates at a much better level, and unless he can pull off a masterclass then, he won't beat Canelo. He'll just get the payday.
Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? He's talked earlier in Fight Week about how he feels he deserves a payday at this point of his career. He's had some tough fights. Don't think we can count last night. But he's had some tough fights. Now he wants the payday. Now, if I'm Canelo, honestly, I'd fight Joe Smith Jr. next. You know, there was talk about going up to cruiserweight to fight Ilunga Makabu. That seems like it doesn't going to happen now. Makabu's got a mandatory, and while I think they could get around it, I think we'll probably see, although there's a lot of talk of Canelo fighting Charlo at middleweight, I think we'll see him go to 175 because you've got Bivol that the DAZN can make with Eddie Hearn. Obviously, Beterbiev, got to get in there with top rank. But, you know, all these things can happen. We know he's a free agent. But if he's serious about trying to go for undisputed at 175 as well, which he talks about legacy, which, let's be honest, two-weight undisputed champions, pretty impressive. I think Joe Smith, especially after last night, he's got to be the easiest piece of the puzzle, hasn't he, Ben?
Yeah, that's definitely, if you're Canelo, that is where you start. Because let's face it, the odds are you're going to walk away with a belt. And it might not be too difficult of a fight, you don't know. But I do think that he handled it right at the end, Smith, in the sense of he wants Canelo next. But he said if he gets Beterbiev or Bivol, then he wants the other one before Canelo. So it's either take Canelo before he unifies or unify then take Canelo. I don't think he'll unify, but in his mind he thinks he can, and that's the way he wants to handle it. I think it's the right thing to do. But I just think to myself, we said it in the other video, in my opinion, he doesn't beat Beterbiev or Bivol. So his next fight, if he fights one of the three we've mentioned, he will be losing his belt. But I just seem to love the idea of a super series at light heavyweight. You look at the people you've got there, that could be an amazing event. And I think it's something I should seriously look into.
Who would you include in that outside of, obviously, the champions and then Canelo?
I'd have to include Buatsi because I'm a fan of his. Maybe it's a bit biased. I'm not sure if he'd get in. Callum Smith. And then there's so many floaters for the last two who you could argue positions for, isn't there? I think even in the UK, you've got Yard, you've got Craig Richards who thinks he's up there. And like I say, that's just 4 UK fighters. So
Callum Johnson as well, don't forget that. He should have been in the ring last night.
Well, there you go. That's 9. So I do feel that it would be a good event to put on, that would.
No, I think that's the key takeaway from there. You know, some people love a super series sort of concept. Some people aren't fans. But however you look at it, the light heavyweight scene is absolutely thriving at the moment. I think we'll end it there. So, guys, if you're new here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you think of that fight last night, because right now we're underwhelmed. So join us on the next one.